4 billion people on the internet, growing 20% every year. You realize that if 3.9 billion people hated you and just kept saying no, but everyone else loved you or loved your market card, you would be taking me to lunch every day of your life thanking me if I could figure out how to do that. People are afraid of change, and you're a doctor. I always joke around. I go, only person that I know that loves change is a baby. They're the only person that will beg, cry, and scream for you to change them. Everyone else does not want to change. And the mortgage industry, the car industry, we had the art, I invested in the CRM for art. It's killing it because they didn't want to change. Some of these guys in the art dealers were spending thousands and thousands of dollars to try to get Salesforce to work because no one would ever build anything for art dealers. Meanwhile, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And looking at what you're doing in the mortgage industry, who do you think the future buyers of houses and buildings, right, and real estate are? Millennials. Are millennials, going to the internet to search rates, right? Are they talking to mortgage lenders and brokers? No. And you're going to address that's a serious wealth building business, right? In Orange County alone, my guy does $3 billion in loans. That's big, and yet no mortgage guy, until I started with mine, were using video like you do at all. Well, Gary, who I know you is my mentor and genius. In the sports industry, I get to mentor to him, right? So I get to help all the guys, AJ and Justin and Gary, understand the sports agency business. It was the same thing. Gary's a genius. Why? Because he's not looking so short term today that, all the Rep 1, all Athletes First, CAA, all the big firms, they're doing things the same exact way. Yeah. They're going into the living room, just like Jerry Maguire, just like Leigh, and they're getting to the spheres of influence and doing all that. No, you know what Gary's doing? He's going directly to the high school guy, and not breaking or violating anything, because they're going to him on the internet. Yeah. And so when those kids graduate college, he'll be as big as Leigh Steinberg. He'll be coming and begging, just like you have a line out your door, because people want to go to a personality, the famous dentist.
That's true.
Now, looking at that, what are some of the techniques? Because you have a pretty normal professional business.
Right.
What advice would you give to people that have mortgage, lawyers, doctors? Because not everybody can do what you do, right. but there is some great advice that you have to get people that are middle-aged doctors and lawyers and to do this
right.
stuff. Because they'll get intimidated because you start with 200 followers. What advice would you give them?
So when I first started out in Musical.ly, I did a little bit on my own privately within the app. I knew eventually I was going to push it to Instagram, but I wanted to see what the reaction is. And so how I look at it is just jump in, but test. Try areas where you have a following, you feel like people are kind of supportive of you as a person, but will give you honest feedback. And don't be afraid of feedback. If someone says, you're ugly, for instance, you have to be okay with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're going to start crying, then you can't really get far in making content. So I say just keep putting stuff out there, get feedback, see what's working, what's not working. So as I was doing it, I was seeing that people tended to like more of my comedy as opposed to trying to do other videos, because I'm probably like the oldest person on Musical.ly. So they're looking for maybe a younger demographic for some of this other stuff, but for the comedy, they kind of thought it was interesting. So I tended to do more of that. So testing it, just jumping in, looking at what your strengths are, obviously, and seeing what you can use in terms of putting that together. And it doesn't have to be creating content, because creating content takes a lot of time. You have to sit there and think of the creative side. You have to get a script together. You have to get your team members on board. If your team members aren't even liking where you work, that's a problem in and of itself. So you're trying to get all these components together. You could just do documenting of your day, and it would be a lot easier in terms of being able to capture everything. So it's more of what is your time, what is your strengths, what you can put into it. And I think if everyone kind of takes an assessment of that, inevitably it can be good. But when I first started, I wasn't that good. And anything that you do in the beginning, you're not going to be good. But once you keep doing it, you start to get the hang of what it is that you're doing, and it evolves over time. So it's just a matter of jumping in, I think.
And I've watched some of your stuff, and you use a process of illumination, in the comedic side especially, right? And it's an area that I have felt attracts people when you're humble and you illuminate your own self.
Right.
Right? And when you're taking feedback early on, how do you determine like what feedback is real? And because there are just angry people, right? And someone's going to say something mean, or something that they say is off base. How do you determine this is good feedback, valuable? I should say valuable, not positive, but this is valuable feedback, and this is really just fodder.
Right. That's a good question. I think when I'm looking at any comments that are made, I try to take a step back as if it's not anything about me. Like, what is it exactly they're saying, and see if there's any truth in that first. So if it's something based on their, subjective, whatever it is, if it's about what I'm wearing or whatever, who I'm talking to, if they don't think it's interesting, then that's more on them. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna write no in the comments and that's it, that's on them.
Yeah, which is fine.
Right, that's fine. You don't have to like it. And you don't have to continue watching my videos if you don't want to either, right?
Yeah.
So how I look at it is, whatever the comment is, if there is some truth to it, I'll actually use it as advice. And I've had times when I've interacted with people where I've said, okay, can you tell me more what you're saying? What do you mean by that? And then you actually can learn from some people. Some people are really giving constructive criticism. They want to help you to be better.
I love that.
They see in their own realm a different side that could help you. And so I actually don't have a problem. I actually tend to surround myself with people who are stronger, smarter, who give me constructive criticism.
Like those two guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's the only way I'm going to get better. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be like that, to be around people who sometimes know more about certain things than you do. But if you keep taking that in, you end up accelerating a lot faster, I feel like.
Yeah. So as your brand gets bigger, and you're on Instagram,
right.
And you have a full-time job,
right?
And you have 3 kids,
right?
And all the things.
2 kids, actually.
Oh, 2. He has 3. Sorry. Okay. Well, we got a whole football team between us. We're fine. Mine are all girls except for one. So my biggest concern in Instagram is you're very authentic, right? And you're engaged with your community. As you grow, do you feel pressure to get back to everybody yourself? And how do you manage that part as you grow? To be in contact and engage while you're still have a full-time life.
I respond to every comment right now.
Yeah, me too.
Every DM I get, I'll respond. And there's times when those conversations have gone on for days, because it could be a clinical question regarding dentistry, it could be a question regarding a mouth guard, like what's the best type of mouth guard. So there's different questions. And I don't have a problem answering that, but I will do it when I can do it. So I'm not going to answer a question when I'm supposed to be focused on my clinical side, or if I'm supposed to be with my kids. So I make sure to put aside time to make the experience good. I don't want to feel like I'm sacrificing my time to answer the questions. So I do respond because I think that's the only way that I'm going to grow my personal brand. Ultimately, I want to be able to talk to people and basically be in control of the message that I'm putting out there. And if I want to grow my Instagram, if I want to grow my Twitter or my Snapchat, the only way I'm going to do that is if I'm the one that's doing everything.
For sure.
I mean, eventually I may get to a point where some of that will have to get delegated out. But I would say that that's actually the most important thing in all of this. Like, the content, I should put less content, but make sure I respond to everyone. If I can't handle the amount, then maybe I should reduce the amount of content. And I know that's kind of goes against what most people are saying now, but I feel like that is the sauce in everything, because I've made some great connections just from going in deep with a few people and talking to them on DM, as opposed to trying to spread myself out too thin.
But it's interesting because obviously if you're on Musical.ly, that's where you would spread yourself thin. But I agree, LinkedIn, Instagram, like I'm very intimate with my following, and it's getting really big.
Right.
And it's a challenge for me to be like, all right, I got to stay authentic. Expectation-wise, when you're in communication, how often managing expectations of your following, do you think it's fair to allow someone to wait for an answer from you? Because like in your business, right, I get back to somebody, I got a 24-hour rule. And it's getting hard. I try to keep that in my Instagram, and sometimes I'll go on and I'll say, oh God, this guy's waited 23 hours. Because it's worse than a phone call, because in your mind you can think you called the guy back in 24 hours, it could be 3 days.
Yes.
But on Instagram it tells you.
Oh my gosh, yes, this is exactly what I'm dealing with now. I have like messages and I thought that I answered them, and then I go back and I'm assuming you don't want to do this because, and I'm like, that's when you know you maybe need more help in other areas.
Or less
like,
content.
You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Like, maybe I need to have someone that helps me more with, to be honest, like grocery shopping or something else, because I'm not getting the time.
Great point.
On this side.
Great point.
Delegating like some of my
most successful people, I tell them all the time, pay people to do what you don't like to do or what you don't do well or you don't need to do.
Right.
You know, I'd pay someone to worry for me if I could.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Paisley, you're hired.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my problems. You're going to worry about them and then tell me the answer. You know.
Exactly. I'm so much like you though, because like I feel bad. Like I genuinely will like wake up in the middle of the night if I feel like I like failed on something.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of me even being in this profession. That's like just my personality, and I've realized over time that I have to do the best that I can. But I'm learning over time. There's only so much you can do, right?
Right.
Like some people send back a text like question mark, like, are you gonna get
Yeah,
back
exactly.
to me? And everyone has their own idea of timing, right? Like you should respond right away within 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can have it at 24 hours. Everyone has their own rule, but I think if you're empathetic to them in the response.
And honest.
Yeah, and honest. Like, you know, I really screwed up. I wasn't feeling good or whatever it may be.
And accountability too. One of the things I've noticed, people that are accountable. So it's not blame, shame, and justification. Like, I don't want to hear, sorry, you know, it was my wife's birthday and this and this. It was, like, for me, I have other priorities, right? You are a priority, but I have other priorities right now. I'm going to get to this, and hopefully you'll respect that, because I do want to help you. Like, I started getting a little bit more transparent about, hey, this is just a reality. I'm here to help, but please, I appreciate your patience. But I think it's important to give that message as well. What do you think is the best thing that you are doing to build your brand right now?
I think the best thing that I'm doing is coming up with more creative ideas that a lot of other people are not necessarily doing. And, you know, I'm the type of person that will look at, you know, how is it going to get me to my goal and what am I trying to do? And if the creative side is going to help me towards that, then it helps. If I'm just doing creative just to do creative, then obviously it doesn't matter. But what I've been doing now, like a lot of people, like I said before, didn't realize like all the things that I was doing with Musical.ly, it's helping me now with my mouth guard business.
Yeah.
You know, like I can go on Musical.ly and I already have that following, so I spent the time trying to build that, and now I can use the videos that I'm doing to creatively market that side of things. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time, I feel like.
Now, I've worked with mouth guard companies from the beginning of time.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah, I'm from Shock Doc, I mean, Canada, everywhere, you know, because I worked with Zenith helmets for years, and all the helmet companies doing the concussion stuff with Leigh Steinberg. I have a philosophy in business that says, make yourself equal, then make yourself different. Right? Don't use judgments or conditions to provide a value or think that something's more valuable or less valuable, superior or inferior. I always tell people, 4 billion people on the internet, growing 20% every year. You realize that if 3.9 billion people hated you and just kept saying no, but everyone else loved you or loved your mouth guard, you would be taking me to lunch every day of your life thanking me if I could figure out how to do that. And if you have enough confidence in yourself, that some people love the things about you love and some people don't. And that's all you got to decide in your heart.